I've just received the most shocking news of my life. I'm stunned and I can't seem to come to grips with it. I had a blood test the other day for a work physical and the lab report noted that my chromosomes are XX. Genetically, I'm a woman. I freaked out. Dr. Stone said that it's nothing to worry about. Some men have XX chromosomes but lead otherwise normal lives. Most live their entire life without ever knowing about the condition. He said it changes nothing and I can continue to live just as I have been. Nothing is different. I can still be the man I was. Sexual identity has to do more with how you feel and think than what your biochemical makeup is, he said. He told me to forget about it. That's easy for him to say. It's been several days and I still cannot shake this strange feeling. Every time I look in the mirror I see the same face, but just knowing that my chromosomes are not what they should be makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. I cannot shake this feeling that I'm somehow flawed. I feel like everyone is looking at me and wondering what kind of man I am. I know it's all in my head. No one can tell except me. But it seems to make a big difference. I had a long talk with Cindy, our secretary at work. She's worked there for more than a year and this is the first time I've had a personal conversation with her. I found out she's caring for her ailing father and that she's dating a hospital administrator named Brad. She's the only girl in our office. Or maybe I should say the only other girl. I don't know why, but since I found out the news I've felt a new respect for her. She puts up with a lot of nonsense with the guys and she does it with skill, good humor, and a touch of feminine grace. She has a lot of qualities I admire. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but I feel something like a bond between us that wasn't there before I got the news. Things are not going well with Marty. I don't know. Maybe we were not meant for each other. She's been bugging me about getting married and I really don't feel like it's a good idea right now. She said that I'm just like all men, I'm afraid of a commitment. But she has no idea that I'm not like other men, at least not the inner workings of the cells of my body. I still feel uneasy about that news. I know I just have to accept it, but it keeps going around in my mind like an endless loop. Cindy received a bouquet of flowers today at work. She and Brad were celebrating the 4-month anniversary of their first date. I was very happy for her and I told her so. All the other guys just mocked her out and made a lot of crude jokes. It started me thinking how much different things might have been if I had become a physical woman. If I had been a real girl like Cindy, maybe someone would have sent me flowers too. It would have been a much different life than the one I have right now. Recently, I've been thinking hard about making a symbolic gesture to acknowledge my chromosomal makeup. I decided that I would get my ear pierced. It's a small thing, but I needed to do something. Otherwise, I think I'll just bust. I got a small diamond stud. Cindy was the only one to notice. She liked it. I was home for the weekend and spent a lot of time with Mom. I haven't really had much of a relationship with her since I left home. For that matter, I never had much of one before I left home either. One of us was always too busy. I was surprised at how well we got along. She took out some old photos and showed me pictures of Dad with Todd before I was born. Then she confided that when she was pregnant with me she had hoped I'd be a girl. I must have been a letdown for her when I was born. Once Dad died, she never got another chance to have a daughter. Cindy always talks about what a great relationship she has with her mother. I wish Mom could have had that. I guess she would have if I turned out the way I was supposed to. I know it isn't my fault, but I can't get the idea out of my mind that I disappointed her. I was supposed to be a girl. Todd came over for a visit while I was at Mom's house. He and I were talking about old times and he reminded me about the time when I had to play the mother in our Cub Scout skit. I was so embarrassed. I wonder if Mrs. Cottonwood selected me for the part because she somehow knew about me? I suppose that's impossible. But why did she pick me? I went up in the attic and found a box of my old toys. A small change in just a few chemicals and those planes and trucks could have easily been dolls, dresses, and makeup kits. That would have pleased Mom. I could picture a tiny egg sitting on the head of a pin. A little push one way and I'd come out a boy, a little the other way and I'm a girl. It was such a small action and it had such a very large consequence. What if it had been different? Why do I have a man's body if I'm a girl? Which way, after all, did I fall? I returned but didn't feel like going to work. I had a headache and just didn't feel up to work. I know it's all in my head, but it has been exactly 28 days since I found out. It is almost as if these recurring thoughts are affecting my body. I know it's ridiculous. Dr. Stone assured me that nothing is different. But damn it! I feel like shit. I had another big argument with Marty again today. I can't get married to her and I can't explain it either. Not even to myself. It just doesn't feel right. I accidentally walked into the woman's bathroom at McDonald's today. I don't know what I was thinking. I realized it when I couldn't find the urinal. But for some reason I went ahead and did my thing in the stall. Maybe I just needed another symbolic gesture. Luckily no one noticed me. While I was sitting there pissing, I remembered something from first grade. Some boys were taunting me in the boys' bathroom because I sat on the toilet to pee. Was I trying to express my true inner self at some subconscious level way back then? Could they have known? They said I peed like a girl. When I was at the mall and took a shortcut through Penny's, I suddenly became aware of all the women's clothes around me. I don't know why. It seemed as if suddenly I was peering into an entirely different world. It reminded me of the time I was looking at a picture of a goblet and then suddenly realized that it was really a picture of two people kissing. I could see all the other women looking critically at the clothes on the racks. Some were holding up blouses and others were scurrying to the dressing rooms. I imagine I would have done the same if things had turned out differently. I wished for a moment that I were a part of it. As it is, I rarely take much interest in what I wear. Maybe I should. I know I'm not crazy now. It's been almost 2 months since I learned about my condition. Actually, it's been exactly 56 days. I checked it on a calendar. That's 2 28-day cycles. Last month was the same thing as today. I felt lousy and had a headache for 2 or 3 days. I feel the same today. I know it's not a coincidence. It must be that my mind is affecting my body. How else can this be explained? What's even crazier is that I feel bloated and my chest feels tender. What's happening to me? Cindy came to work with an engagement ring on her finger. It's a gorgeous stone. I'll bet Brad is either very successful or very much in debt. She is so happy and I'm so happy for her. The weird thing was that I was the first one to notice the ring. Tom, Brian, and the others didn't see it. When Cindy and I made a fuss, they did congratulate her, but they sure seemed pretty subdued compared how I felt. I could really tell it was an important day for Cindy and I wanted to share it with her. Afterward, I had to go to my cubicle to be alone. Cindy is getting married and Marty and I are finished. I had another stud put in my other ear today. Maybe I should have been a woman. Maybe I wouldn't feel so sad. I wish I could be as happy as Cindy. I looked at myself in the mirror and I see someone I'm not sure I like anymore. I need to shave more often. I need to take better care of my skin and hair. I got out of the shower and began thinking about my problem again. I stood in front of the mirror and played with my hair. It's grown quite a bit and is long overdue for a cut. Since it was so long, I tried out a few things just to satisfy myself. I used a brush to curl it a little and used the blow dryer to puff it up. I think I would have had beautiful hair if I'd been born a woman. I would have made a cute girl if things had turned out differently. I received a package today via UPS. Or at least I thought I did. I was in such a hurry to open it I didn't even notice that it came from QVC and the address was for the apartment next door. I tore open the box and discovered a cute red dress inside. I held it up against my body for a second and did a pirouette. For a moment I felt connected to those women in pennies. I had shorts on and could actually picture what I'd look like in it for a second. I never noticed how hairy my legs were before. Even so, they seemed pretty shapely and a nice compliment to the dress. I took the box next door and gave it to my neighbor along with my apologies. I've been really feeling lonely lately. I used to hang around with the guys at work, but I don't feel very close to them anymore. All they ever seem to want to do is hang around bars, drink beer, and talk about sports. To tell the truth, Cindy is the only one I really like to talk to. She's been so busy with her wedding plans lately. She showed me a picture of her dress. It's simply gorgeous. She seems to be just glowing with excitement. My life seems so dull by comparison. Yesterday, I got sick and tired of watching TV. The only interesting thing on was a movie on the Women's Lifetime network. When it finished, I went to Patty's, the bar down the street. I had a couple of beers and talked to a few of the patrons. I played a game of darts with a guy named Jimmy. We had a few laughs. Still, I felt a little bit conspicuous for some reason. Everyone seemed to know each other so well and I felt out of place. It's just that now I feel most uncomfortable about who I am when I'm around a bunch of guys. I shouldn't feel that way, but I do. I know that no one can tell, but I was the only woman in the bar. It felt as if I was masquerading while everyone else was being themselves. When I got home, I started to think about Marty. We've been apart for a few weeks now. The funny thing is that I still haven't developed much of an appetite for other women yet. It crossed my mind that maybe my genes are affecting me. Maybe my sex drive is shriveling because of my chromosomes? Did I activate some female hormone? I know now that my body has that potential. I once read about how male frogs can spontaneously change into females. Can something like that happen to humans? No, it can't be, and I've got to get these thoughts out of my head. The doctor told me that nothing is different. But why am I not attracted to girls anymore? It must be because of the emotional toll the breakup had. It can't be anything physical. I went down to Patty's again and met up with Jimmy. We played a couple of games of darts. Then he disappeared for a few minutes and came back with a friend. He introduced me to Brent. Brent is an extremely friendly guy and we hit it off pretty well. Well, one thing led to another. The next thing I knew, the three of us were in Brent's car smoking a doobie. I haven't had a J since I got out of college. I was feeling pretty mellow and Brent put some smooth jazz into the CD. Suddenly he moved over close to me and started to stroke my arm. I had to jerk my arm away quickly. He was nice about it and told me that it was just a mistake. Luckily Jimmy had disappeared, so there were no witnesses. He was so easygoing that we stayed in his car talking for a few minutes more. I really like him as a friend. I apologized for reacting the way I did. He ended up taking me home and we shook hands goodbye. He has a strong masculine handshake and hairy muscular arms. It was the first time since I broke up with Marty that anyone has touched me. It was just a handshake. I guess shouldn't make such a big deal about it. Funny thing though. A few months ago I would have probably assumed he was making a pass at me and punched out his lights. If I'd done that tonight, I might have lost a friend. I guess the news has changed me more than I thought. I think it's made me more tolerate. I'm less willing to jump to conclusions about people than I used to be. Maybe that's a good thing. But still, I wonder if he sees me as more than just a friend. Last night, as I was lying in bed trying to fall asleep, I started to think about my new friend Brent. Weird thoughts kept zipping through my head. I wonder why Brent thought I might be attracted to him? Did I accidentally give him some encouragement? Was it something I said or did? Are other men attracted to me? How come I'm not grossed out by such thoughts anymore? Funny, the incident with Brent seemed to have awakened my sleeping sex drive. I'm feeling full of desire, and yet strangely I can't seem to find any women that I'm attracted to. Maybe I'm not the normal guy I thought I was. Maybe I was never attracted to women and that stint with Marty was just a psychological decoy. Suppose it's self-denial or something like that. Maybe I'm really attracted to men and I've been lying to myself all these years. But I can't think of any men that I find physically attractive though. Except maybe Brent. If I'd been a physical woman, I think we could have had a relationship. He's really entertaining and I like him a lot. That's a ludicrous thought. If I'd been a woman, then he probably wouldn't have been interested in me. Wait. Maybe Brent isn't homosexual? Maybe people like Brent, Mrs. Cottonwood, and the first-grade boys can sense my feminine self deep down inside me? Maybe he's attracted to my feminine side? Maybe it's my female persona that likes him so much? Why is my heart always pounding so loud when I think about him? Oh God! It's all so confusing. I had a zany idea today. I woke up and took a shower and then shaved all the hair off my legs. I can't say why I did it. I wrapped a towel around myself and paraded around in my skirt. I was right about having shapely legs. For good measure, I shaved all the hair off my chest as well. Brent called and asked me to a movie. I accepted. It wasn't a date or anything. I like him as a friend, and if he's queer, well, so be it. We went to see a chic flick, but you know I really enjoyed it. I was sobbing at the end. That's the first time I can ever remember doing that. I guess it's just knowing that deep inside at some level I'm really a girl. It keeps preying on my mind and affecting the way I think. Sometimes I think I'm going to go crazy. I just wish the doctor had never told me anything. I'm so mixed up. Brent came over today just to visit. I finally broke down and told him about myself. He was very concerned about me. He was very reassuring and supportive. I doubt that anyone else could have been as understanding. He gave me a hug, and I have to admit that I buried my face in his chest. I want so much for someone to be there for me like that all the time. I just wish it wasn't like this. I feel like I'm standing over an ever-widening split in the ground. Sooner or later I'm going to have to decide which side to jump to or end up at the bottom of a chasm. I went to Cindy's wedding today. It was wonderful. She worked so hard to make it perfect. Before the ceremony, I went over to wish her luck and give her a hug. She and her bridesmaids all looked beautiful. I loved their dresses and the stunning shades of blue she chose for them. They were so happy and excited. I enjoyed being there, but I felt so lonely. I wish I could have played a part in the wedding like her other girlfriends did. I'm having so much trouble trying to handle all of the strange feelings I've had lately. I can't remember a time when I felt like this before. Her husband Brad is very handsome. I think they make a lovely couple. I wish I could find someone to take care of me like she did. Brent came over again. I was really feeling down about the wedding, and I guess he seemed to sense that. That's just the way he is. He brought me a present to cheer me up. He gave me some red silk briefs that he bought at Victoria's Secret. I wasn't in the mood for such nonsense, but I eventually played along. I got undressed and slipped them on. They felt really nice. Then he showed me the matching top. They weren't men's briefs. They were the bikini bottoms of a woman's two-piece nightgown. He said I should wear it as an acknowledgement of the hidden part of me. Besides, he said he had a vision of me wearing it and thought he'd buy it and try to coax me into it. Eventually, I did try on the top. Brent laughed at me but said I looked pretty cute in it. I did look pretty, maybe even feminine, especially with my nice smooth legs. I was so delighted I couldn't help myself. I stood on my toes and gave him a big hug. I was miserable at work today. I was tired and crabby. And yes, it's that time of the month again. I tried to call Brent but no luck. He wasn't at home and wasn't at Patty's either. Maybe I'd embarrassed him yesterday with my hug. He couldn't have missed noticing that I was excited. I went to bed early but couldn't fall asleep. I kept thinking about Brent. I was worried about him. He finally showed up drunk about 2 a.m. I undressed him and put him to bed. I put the nightgown on just because it felt right and then crawled in alongside of him. I went to the salon to get a haircut today. On a whim, I had Alfred cut my hair into a short feminine bob. I had him lighten it just a little too, adding a few blonde streaks. It really looks cute on me. I wasn't sure how to comb it for work. He must have read my mind because he told me how to curl and set it. He offered to give me a manicure. I took him up on it. He put on clear fingernail polish, but I'm tempted to try some color. The other girls in the salon thought it looked good on me too. I received a lot of compliments and we ended up all in a circle giggling and carrying on. The last couple of weeks have been really crazy. Brent has moved in and I've quit my job. I've been working hard to reshape myself into who I really am. I'm finally starting to come to grips with the fact that I am a woman. I have the chromosomes, but more importantly, I now have a mental picture of myself as a woman. And it doesn't make me feel mixed up inside anymore either. My thinking and emotions are now much more like the woman I probably always was. I've allowed my innermost feelings to come out and they are 100% feminine. I can't believe that I had this all bottled up inside me all this time. I should have taken the cue from those boys in first grade. I don't yet have a body to match my inner self. But that is going to change soon too. Brent has really been supportive. He encourages me to dress as a woman as often as I can. I've started electrolysis on my beard and I'm thinking seriously about going to a doctor to get hormone therapy. I may be able to pass in public soon. But that will come in time. What matters now is that Brent enjoys me. I've discovered an entire new world of sexuality with Brent. I'm anxious to get my body aligned with my new self so I can enjoy it even more. I went to see Dr. Stone today to see about getting a prescription for hormones. He was very understanding. He said that he has treated a few women like me and he thinks that I might be quite presentable in 6 months or so. The hormones will develop my breasts, smooth my skin and hopefully give me the girlish curves I want so badly. He didn't think I should do anything about facial surgery before then and I'd have to live as a woman at least a year before I'm ready for the operation. But I'm certain that I will do whatever it takes to get my body to match what I feel like inside. He gave me a complete physical and will be able to start as soon as he gets the results next week. I can't wait. I just received the most shocking news. I am stunned and I cannot seem to come to grips with it. The lab report noted that my chromosomes are XY. Dr. Stone assured me that the results were correct. He called the lab and they confirmed that they mixed up my original records. They were very sorry if it caused any problems. Genetically, I'm a man,